Leo lived and breathed his art in a small studio where sunlight streamed in, illuminating dust motes dancing around stacks of canvases. He was a young painter, and his world was filled with the scent of turpentine and the promise of creation. His eyes, however, were often fixed on a single point on the wall, a glossy poster for the Golden Brush, the most prestigious art competition in the country. It was more than a contest to him. It was the ultimate validation, the finish line he had been sprinting towards his entire life. With charcoal-stained fingers, he sketched eagerly in his notebook, his focus absolute. The design for his masterpiece was ambitious, a complex tapestry of color and emotion he believed was destined for greatness. This painting, he was certain, would be his entry into the world he so desperately wanted to join. The gallery for the competition judging was a grand, intimidating space with high ceilings and marble floors that echoed every footstep. It felt less like a celebration of art and more like a coliseum. A montage of Leo's preceding weeks would show a feverish, almost manic dedication. He spent sleepless nights under the stark light of a single bulb, his hands perpetually covered in a rainbow of oil paints, his focus unwavering. He poured every ounce of his hope and energy onto the canvas. But on the day of the judging, reality was a cold, swift blow. Stern-faced judges in sharp suits walked down the line of artworks, their expressions unreadable. They passed his painting, his soul laid bare on canvas, with barely a glance. The moment stretched into an eternity of silence before the final verdict was announced. Leo's name was not called. His face, once alight with hope, crumbled as he realized he had failed. The scene ended with him standing alone in the now empty hall, staring at his rejected masterpiece, the silence of the room deafening. That night, Leo's studio was a dark, somber reflection of his own spirit. The familiar scent of paint now felt suffocating. He sat dejectedly in the center of the room, a ghost amidst his own creations. His gaze drifted to the failed painting propped against the wall. It looked different now, stripped of its ambition and sheen of hope. Then, his eyes wandered to the older, discarded works leaning in the corners, the forgotten sketches and half-finished canvases of his past. He began to see them not as a graveyard of failures, but as a roadmap of his journey. He noticed the flaws with a newfound clarity, a poorly mixed color that turned muddy, a hesitant brushstroke betraying a lack of confidence. These were not indictments, they were lessons. In that quiet moment of reflection, something shifted within him. He began to sketch for the pure, unadulterated love of creation itself. A montage would show Leo painting with a new, liberated energy that seemed to burst from his very core. The studio, once a pressure cooker of expectation, became a playground for experimentation. His style grew bolder, more authentic. He wasn't afraid to make mistakes. In fact, he welcomed them, often incorporating an accidental drip or a spontaneous splash of color directly into his work. The pursuit of perfection was replaced by the joy of expression. His canvases filled with a vibrant, raw energy that was uniquely his. The studio transformed from a sterile workshop into a chaotic, colorful sanctuary, each painting a testament to his newfound freedom and a celebration of his own voice. Here, Leo stands not as a nervous contestant, but as the featured artist of his own solo exhibition. He is no longer seeking approval, but is engaged in an enthusiastic conversation with a visitor, explaining the story behind one of his pieces. A small, knowing smile plays on his lips. He understood now that true success wasn't about a golden trophy or the fleeting approval of judges. It was about the journey itself. The rejection from the Golden Brush wasn't a failure. It was the most important brushstroke of his life, the one that had finally set him free.